I was raised by a narcissist and a fiend. In fact, my whole life growing up, I was surrounded by conceited manipulators that only cared about their own image and reputation. Love was only conditional when excelled with high achievements, and even then, there was a demand for perfection with constant comparison to other peers. Now, I'm not going to share a sad sob story here. We all have our past. Although mine led me down a dark path in life where I lacked empathy with an inability to maintain healthy relationships, I was an absolute master at concealing my true self and all the insecurities that went along with it. I was once a narc and manipulator myself. You see, I've seen manipulating narcs in all shapes and forms to the point where I can sniff them out with ease. Which is why, in this video, we will go over 5 major signs of a narcissist and the manipulative tactics that are part of their arsenal. Now you see, most people will tell you to stick around to the end for a bonus tip, but I'm going to reel you in with the bonus tip right now, because it's not just a bonus tip, it's a rule of thumb, and that is, never argue with a narc. Ever. It's just not worth your time. Narcissists always want the last laugh, and their commanding ego will not allow them to step down. Some people can't be bought or reasoned with, and they just want to watch the world burn. So save your energy and keep it moving. Number 1. The most common trait amongst all narcissists is that they love being the center of attention. This is their fuel. When the spotlight is taken off them, they immediately try to direct the conversation back to them. The covert narcissists will try to use self-serving empathy to try to fish out a compliment from you. They'll say things like, "Oh, I look old, so you can say, nah, you look right." So long as it's all about them, they are content. The less attention you give them, the better you will be at tipping the scale in your favor. Number 2, highly sensitive to criticism. Narcs often rely on self-deception, excessive defensiveness, and making excuses. They have these comebacks ready to go anytime criticism comes their way, including turning the tables on you, even if it means insulting you and your values. They will take everything personally, which is why I said before, never argue and waste your energy on a narc. Be careful when critiquing them though, as they are very spiteful and vindictive and are likely to hold a grudge, and that grudge can turn into a form of revenge that you don't want coming your way, even if it means stabbing you in the back. Number 3, jealousy. Most people in your circle don't want to see you doing good or even leveling up in life. Trust me. Sometimes the closest ones that you may think are your friends are the ones that will laugh behind your back. Narcs are extremely jealous and will either try to sabotage your success or downplay your achievements. It's best to withhold any good news you have in front of a narc, just to be on the safe side. Why share good news with someone who won't appreciate it? Number 4, conditional love. Whether this pertains to a relationship with your significant other or a relationship with your parents, conditional love is one of the most telling signs of a real narc, as it reflects on their inability to show empathy. Narcs are masters at playing with emotions and exploiting your weaknesses at the right moment. Now, I had an uncle that was a fiend. I looked up to him as a role model my whole life, only to later find out he was a narc and a master manipulator that was only interested in how my achievements reflected on him. He only used me to gain his own greedy wealth even after I became an adult, and when I confronted him about it, he was very quick to cut me off. Which brings me to my final point. Number 5, quick dismissal. Once you have the narc cornered with overwhelming evidence, they will be quick to dismiss you instead of accepting their flaws, trying to get better. Narcs use crafty questioning to get into the conversation and steer their way to what they want because they always want to be the driver. And when you feel like there's no further incentive, they will dispose of you without hesitation. Now listen, you might find that these traits sound like someone familiar, or maybe you might find some of these when you look in the mirror. I used to have some of these traits myself, and admitting it internally was the hardest part. But you are not alone. Remember to trust yourself and your gut. If someone or something doesn't feel right, or what they're saying doesn't sound genuine, don't feel pressured to make a move. Just stay calm and agree to disagree. Then slowly distance yourself so the narc still feels like they are in control. Now that you know their weaknesses, you have the upper hand, so think carefully before you play your cards. And if all else fails, then just cut off all contact from them completely. It's better to be safe than sorry. Sometimes you just have to accept people as they are, but place them where they belong. Remember, you are the CEO of your life. Hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Right, so why don't you smash that subscribe button when you're ready to master your mind and start taking things more seriously. Here's my card.